Okay, cool. So today's class and why I wanted to do it is because if you use Facebook on a desktop computer, and I know not everybody does, but they've recently, at least over the past few months, changed their layout. And I'm going to be honest, it drove me absolutely insane when it first happened because, you like what you know. And so I was starting to get a lot of questions on navigating it, how to do the same things that you did before. And so today's class is really kind of a rehash of some of the basics of business pages, compliance, content ideas. And so for Tish on the call, like I said, if you have any questions as we go along, please stop me. Otherwise, for those of you watching this later on, feel free to shoot me an email if you have any specific questions or want to talk about anything else I talk about today. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen. Tish, can you confirm that you are looking at my Facebook page?
Yes.
Cool, perfect. So first thing I want to talk about is not necessarily how to build a page because Tish, did we do that together or is that something we talked about?
We talked about it.
Okay.
Shoot, I cannot remember, to be honest.
Okay. Well, if you haven't built a page yet, and this goes for anybody watching, you can just reach out to me. We can build it together. It's pretty straightforward. It's just via this create button, and it's under page, and then you just follow the prompts. But what I want to touch on is the compliance aspect of it. And Amy, I see you joined as well. So if at any point you have a question, feel free to pop in. I'm going to show you, so Jelena in our office, I'm going to show you her page to show you the correct compliance aspects that you need to be aware of. So first and foremost being the page name. So for you guys, a lot of people end up doing their first name, last name, but you also have to have the full brokerage name. So I know it's kind of long, so sorry about that. But if you want to make sure your page is in complete compliance, you do have to have that brokerage name. If that isn't in there, I will, once I go onto Tanya's page to show you editing capabilities, I will show you where you can edit that later on. The next piece of compliance is in the cover photo. So I love Jelena's. It's got her logo, it's got some cute imagery, but what you have to include, no matter what the background is the brokerage logo. And then super tiny, does not need to be very prevalent, is the National Association of Realtor and Equal Housing Opportunity logo. So this one that Jelena's using is actually probably ones that I maybe sent her that are condensed so that all three of these logos are just via one image. If you need me to send those to you, feel free to email me and I can send those along. The imagery itself, so the rest of the cover photo can be literally anything you want. I recommend using Command Designs or Canva to create one of those. It can be photos that you've taken or free stock photos, or maybe just like a cool design or even like a plain gray background with those logos, as long as these are on there somewhere. So that's compliance piece number 2. Compliance piece number 3 is under the about section. So I'm going to go to Jelena's about, and it's right here. So she has a perfect about section. It's licensed realtor. You can say licensed in Minnesota. I like that she kind of goes the extra step and says licensed realtor in the state of Minnesota with Keller Williams Premier Realty Lake Minnetonka, each office independently owned and operated. Technically, all you need is that you're licensed in Minnesota, but I do think it's kind of good to go the extra step. These are some typical compliance pieces that you'll see on various marketing materials. So Jelena just really wanted to use her page as an example because I know it has those compliance pieces throughout. Hers is also a great example if you want to look for content. There's a lot of agents in our office that do really good content. So if you're ever kind of lost, just taking a look at other people's, seeing what they're doing, seeing what works for them. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to the actual editing capabilities, building out your page, etc. And I'm going to use our lovely Tanya samples as an example. So Tanya And this goes for, any page that you've created. You can find your page in a few different places. So if you log into your personal Facebook, you can find your page under shortcuts. So once you start interacting with it often enough, that's when that's going to show up. And you can also find it over here on the right under your pages. So now heading to Tanya's page, Tanya, so Tanya gave me admin access, and I will actually show you later what that means, how to do that for others if you have somebody else helping with your page. So that just basically means that both Tanya and I have access to it. So this is what your page is going to look like from your perspective for anything editing wise. So now that we've talked about page compliance, ours is a little bit different being in the mortgage industry. I want to talk to you about how to edit and add page details. So when I say page details, I'm really talking about, like your about section. So having good contact info, making sure it's easy to find out information about you. So a couple different pages you can do, or different ways you can do that. Over here on the left, you can either do that under edit page info, or you can go to your about tab. And if you're not seeing it here, it might be under this more button. But so I'm going to go to about, so you can see that edit page info there as well. So this is, like I said, where you can go to edit anything in here. So if I click on that, I also mentioned if you need to update your page name, that also happens under edit page info. So that's what this is right here. Something to note, you can only change your page name so many times. I want to say it's like 3, 4, 5. I don't know for sure. But there is a cap. So don't be changing your page name every so often. Make sure when you're either updating it or creating it that you're double checking, triple checking the spelling, and that it's compliant right from the get-go, so you don't have to worry about using up all of your page name changes. Also under here, you can find your username. So a username shows up right under here, so right under the page name. Why this is important is that's what shows up in the URL. So if you ever want to include, your URL in your email signature or put it on a marketing piece, you want to make sure you edit this username because it's going to shorten that URL immensely. So in our case, Tanya's is Tanya Mortgages for You. So the whole URL is facebook.com/Tanya Mortgages for You. So making sure you're doing that username. There's no, compliance piece that goes along with what you can use for your username. So that can pretty much be anything you want. And then this is also where you can update that about section. So yours is just going to making sure you're having that licensed in Minnesota in here. And then if you want to, this is also where you can add some information for a bio. If you created a Facebook page before the layout switchover, you may remember that there used to be a story section that a lot of people put their bios in that doesn't exist on the new layout. So this description is probably where you're going to put any sort of bio. And I definitely do recommend having one. Categories for you when you set up the page, most likely already set up as real estate agent. Continuing with the edit page info, you want to make sure you have your contact information in there. So something that I've noticed that is not a pleasant surprise is that it can be sometimes very difficult to find agents' contact information. You want to make sure it's as easy as possible for people to contact you, finding that contact information, because if the moment they have to go really searching for it, the less likely they probably are to contact you. So making that easily accessible, not only on your Facebook page, but your email signature, your website, wherever it is people are, associating your name with Keller Williams. Next is location. So if you want to put a location on here, you don't have to. I recommend putting the office address. Do not put your home address. I don't want anybody, putting their home address on their Facebook page. And then you can also, if you have a very specific service area that you work with, specifying that in there. Otherwise, you can just leave that blank. Or if you want to say like servicing the entire state of Minnesota, what have you, anything you want there. Hours, not super relevant for us. Our industries are kind of available all the time. COVID, FYI, this is a new feature, not super relevant for our industries. And then under more, if you have a privacy policy, if you have anything else you want to add here, Price range, not super relevant. I would leave that blank. If you want to add easy links to your other social media accounts, you can do that here as well. So that is the edit page info box. So if you ever, like I said, need to come in here and edit it, you can do that two places: here under the about section, edit page info, or over here on the left, edit page info. The next thing I want to go into is some settings. So you can access settings a couple different ways. So over here, once again, on the left, settings are listed right here. Or what I want to show you first, if you click under more, I want to show you how to edit your tabs, because when you first create a page, your tabs aren't always relevant, and they're not always in maybe necessarily the order that you want them to be in. So when you pop into here, you can see all the tabs that you have turned off, as well as the tabs you have turned on, as well as the order they show up in. So about is usually listed kind of farther down. I recommend moving that to the very top. And if you want to move and rearrange these tabs, you literally just grab those six dots and drag and drop. So definitely recommend having that about section easier to find, per my point of just making your contact information as easy as possible. You can use as many tabs as you want. Some of them you can't delete, like photos, videos, about, but you don't have to include all of the ones they have available. I would just recommend, I don't know why all of a sudden Pinterest is showing a million, but if you want to turn one off, it's just as easy as toggling this on and off. So that is the tabs. Now, so this section, this tab section, is in the settings. So you can see over here on the left, we now have access to a lot of settings. One of the other settings I want to show you right away. So I mentioned page roles. So this is if you have anybody else helping with your Facebook page, or you want to give them access, you can do that under page roles. So that's mostly maybe if you're on a team and you have somebody that does this, or your teenager helps you with it sometimes, like you can come in here and you can add page roles. The last thing I want to touch on in the settings right away is the messaging. So you may have noticed when I went to Jelena's page, it had a pop-up. So it's actually still showing up here. So this pop-up came and it had some questions for me, but it's basically prompting me to contact her. So you want to make sure you come in here under this messaging tab and setting up this starting a messenger conversation. So you can click on change if you want to change what it says, but it's basically, like I said, just prompting somebody to contact you when they go to your page. So the easier you make it for somebody, the better. So I recommend coming in here and starting that. For those of you on the call, like I said, if you need, or if you have any questions at any point, please stop me. Otherwise, I am going to pop back into the main page. So if you're in your settings, the way to easily do that is just up here in the top left. It's kind of tiny, but I'm just going to click on Tanya's page name, and it's going to take me back to this main page. So far we've touched on compliance, we've touched on editing, overall page details, as well as auto messages. Something else I want to touch on that's kind of neat is this view as visitor button. So if you click on that, it's basically showing you exactly what your page is going to look like to anybody that visits it. So I can now see all of my about info that's showing up, my contact information, everything I have included, photos, videos, etc. So sometimes just good to pop in there and see what you would see as just a random viewer. So I'm going to exit that. The next thing I want to talk about. So over here on the left, this insights tab. So if you're like me and you like stats or seeing how things perform, you're going to love this insights tab. So it's basically, you can come in here and compare how your posts are performing, see their engagement. And when you first click on the insights button, the first place it's taking you is just kind of like a page summary. So we can see, we haven't gotten any extra likes this week, not a big deal, but our post reach has actually gone up, as well as post engagement. So to get a little bit more detail on maybe what that means, what posts are performing the best, over here on the left, I'm going to go to posts. This is probably where I spend the most time, because it's sort of like an overall summary. And I can see a whole list of all of our posts as of late. I can go back as far as I want, but I can see exactly which posts are performing, which is kind of fun. I can also, up here at the top, see what times we're getting the most engagement and even what day of the week and how that changes. So if you're like me, you maybe spend a little bit too much time in here or read a little bit too much into it, but it is kind of interesting to see, if 6 p.m. is really your peak time, maybe you schedule a post for 5:45 to make sure that 6 p.m. peak time is being hit. Or you see that nobody's seeing it at midnight. You're probably not going to be posting at midnight then, or you're probably not going to be posting at 3 in the morning. So just kind of keeping that in mind. There's no, unfortunately, like no perfect formula for this is the best day and time to post. I think you kind of start to see patterns over time and thinking about it in terms of, okay, if you post at 6, 7 in the morning, you're maybe hitting the people that are checking their phone first thing. If you're posting at 6, 7, you're getting people who are maybe looking at it right before or after dinner, or maybe right around when the kids are going to bed. Maybe around lunchtime you see a peak because people are checking their phones then. So it's just kind of interesting to keep track of that and see how your posts are performing. So the next thing I'm going into, kind of touching on this. So I mentioned scheduling. One of my favorite features of Facebook is their publishing tools. So this is where you can go to do a couple different things. But the main thing that we, or that I use it for, or I tell people to use it for, is post scheduling. So, in terms of, how I handle social media, while it is a big part of my job, it's not necessarily, my favorite thing to do. So what I actually do and what our team does is we figure out content on Monday. We set aside an hour of time and we schedule our posts. So we're able to schedule things, and we actually do this maybe twice a week. But it just means that I don't have to sit there and think about it every single day. So getting post scheduled, or like, if you're busy on a Friday night, you can still have a post scheduled, but you don't have to worry about manually doing it. So this just comes in so handy. And I'm going to be honest. So in Command, they do have a post scheduling feature. I don't think it's as good as doing it directly through Facebook, and I will show you why. So when you're in publishing tools, if I click on create post, I have a few different things I can do with this that you cannot do by scheduling through Command. So if I click on these three dots, I'm getting a lot more options for how I want to tailor my post, whether it's adding a feeling or activity, whether it's getting people to schedule with me, or doing a poll. Those are not things you can do via scheduling through Command. And so it's just giving me a few more editing options. I've also seen people have a few issues with their scheduling, like if they need to edit it. If you're working on a small computer, a very random issue that I've seen people run into, but it essentially hides their edit button. So then it's just kind of a mess. So when it comes to scheduling, I just think, like I said, do it through Facebook. It's a bit easier. So once I've written my content, I've added a photo or a video, I can either share it immediately or I can schedule it. So then it's just letting me pick my day, pick my time, get it scheduled. It's truly going to make your life so much easier to start scheduling posts if you do want to be better about being active on social media. And then at that point, you're getting notified about people liking, commenting, and then you can kind of keep up the interaction a little bit more organically. But then at that point, it's not something you have to sit there and think about every single day of what am I going to post. If you just set aside, that hour on Monday, get some scheduled for the week, you're good to go. So that's scheduling. Once you have something scheduled, over here on the left, you can click on scheduled posts. Tanya actually uses a tool called Hootsuite, which is another scheduling option you can look into if you do want to schedule posts for more than just Facebook and Instagram. Hootsuite, you can have, LinkedIn, you can put Pinterest on there. You have a few different options. So that's something to consider as well. But if you do have posts scheduled directly through Facebook, you can go here, or you can see them here. The other thing I wanted to talk about is if you have an Instagram, or if you want to be more active on Instagram, the other reason this is superior for scheduling purposes is over here on the left under tools, you have what's called the Creator Studio. So if you have this Facebook business page and you connect it to an Instagram business page up here on the top, I'm going to click on this little tab. So this is actually connected to a different loan officer, but you can see that you can schedule Instagram posts as well. So this is seriously just like game changing. Instagram posts, you used to just not be able to schedule them anywhere. So the fact that this is an option is really, really awesome if you do want to be more active with your Instagram without necessarily having to designate time every single day to it. So it's just clicking this Instagram feed button, writing your caption, adding your content. So like as an example, sure, the 5 winter or tips to get your home winter ready, which is sadly too relevant today. You just want to make sure that you're selecting, if you want to, you can also have it post to Facebook directly. So you're kind of hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. And then you can either publish it immediately, or if you want to schedule them, this is kind of tricky. You have to go in here. So say you're picking the 21st at sure 9:25. If you just press this, it's scheduling it to Facebook, but publishing it immediately to Instagram. So if you want them scheduled for the same time, you have to double schedule. Basically, come in here, choose the same date, it's at the same time, and then you click the schedule button. That's a mistake that I've made, so I just want to make sure I pointed it out to you guys. But I just want to stress like how awesome it is to be able to, through Facebook, not only schedule Facebook posts, but also via Creator Studio, schedule Instagram posts as well. I do think I said this, but one of the caveats is that it has to be your business page on Facebook connected to a business Instagram. So if your Instagram is currently a personal profile, it's not going to work. If you don't know how to turn it into a business profile, just shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to walk you through it. It's a pretty simple process, but it does have to be both business accounts. So that is publishing. If I want to go back to my page now after this, I can just click on this on Tanya's page, really small up here in the corner. When it comes to posting, you can also kind of most mainstream way of posting is just via the main page, creating a post. It's just something I've noticed by doing it this way. You don't have the poll option. I don't know why. So if you ever want to do a poll, you do have to do that via the publishing tools here. So that's regular posting. You directly under this, there's also Ad Center. However, if you're going to be doing an ad, I cannot stress enough how important it is to do it via command. It is easily my favorite thing that command does is the Facebook advertising option. And it is truly like game changing. It's so much simpler to set it up. The reach is so much better, and it's game changing. So if you've never run an ad through command or you have questions on it, that's 100% something I can help you with as well. But to give you a real life example of why I think it's so great, Tanya and I actually ran a sample ad via command, but also via Facebook directly. We wanted to compare and contrast. We wanted to see how they performed. So we did the exact same ad. It was more of just kind of like a brand awareness ad. We weren't asking for a lead. We didn't make them fill out a lead form or anything like that, but paid $5 each place. Our ad directly through Facebook, $5, 300 impressions. Wah, wah, like not great. $5 through command, 3,000 impressions. Like absolutely insane, crazy difference. So I cannot stress enough. And if you're not sure why, I think it's actually pretty interesting. Facebook and like reps from Facebook met with reps from Keller Williams back when they were, building out command. And the way like Facebook ads are set up through command, when those ads get published, it's basically Facebook looking at it as coming from Keller Williams as a whole, which is obviously huge compared to, a small business page. So that's just why, those ads through command do typically see higher reach, higher engagement, more leads. So if you're considering like, do I do my ad through Facebook or do I do it through command? 100% do it through command. I know the office has had an agent come in and teach a class on it. I'm more than happy to help people with it, but absolutely game-changing feature via command. So through here, not really going to work with this quite pretty much at all, just based on the fact that command is just better in that situation. So the next thing I want to talk about is sharing content. So you have this business page, but you want people to see it via your personal page because not everybody necessarily likes your business page. So what you can do, so say this is the post that Tanya wants to share to her personal page, or maybe I want to share it so people know how great Tanya is. With any of these posts from your own page, what you have to do, and this is the number one thing I see people miss when sharing a post, is the first thing you have to do is click the little photo in the bottom. And then you want to make sure it's set to your personal page, because otherwise you're just sharing it back to your business page. From there, you can click share, and you have so many options. You can share directly to a specific friend's timeline. You can share it to another page. You can share it to a group. So like I could share this post to our private Facebook group. You can send it to people in Messenger. You can share it to your Facebook story. You can just immediately share it without doing anything to it. Or in this situation, and in many situations, you're going to share to newsfeed. So when I click on that, this is showing the original caption from Tanya. It's showing the imagery. And then if I chose to, I could add more verbiage. If you are sharing your own business page post, you don't need to add anything here. But the nice thing is, anytime you share it, it's still connected to your business page. So the benefit being, people get reminded that you have it. So if they haven't liked it already, it's a good reminder to them, oh, I should go like her page. Look at this great content. And then also what we've noticed is anytime you post content, share content from your business to your personal profile, it gets more reach. Like it's so many more people are going to see it. The odds of more engagement is higher. I don't recommend necessarily sharing every post from your business to your personal page because people are probably going to get annoyed with you. But I do think if there's something like so important, like a super important article that you found, or just something that you feel really relevant, or like maybe an event coming up, I don't know what it is. But every so often, if there's something that really like speaks to you, or you just want to make sure more people see it, absolutely share it to your page. However, one thing that I've noticed is sharing articles when you try to do it. And let's see if this has still not gotten worked out yet. They don't show your business page. Oh, perfect. Now they do. Okay. So you guys, I was literally in here 2 weeks ago and they had not figured that out yet. So articles were not showing your business page. So thank goodness for Facebook making this updated. So if you are sharing an article, make sure you click the include original post so that it's still showing your business page. Otherwise, it's kind of defeating the purpose. So I'm so happy they figured it out because I was not pleased about that. You may have heard me talking about people who like your page, inviting people to like your page. So that's the next thing I want to touch on, is getting more people to like your page. So these three little dots over here on the far right, if you click on that and then click invite friends, if you haven't already, select all for anybody who's not been invited and send those invites. Honestly, I say invite everybody you know. Don't discriminate. Like, don't worry about other realtors liking your page. Like, get as much interaction and as many people on there as possible. And a couple notes on that. So once somebody has been invited, so if I click select all and send these invites, they would then move this to this invited tab. Once they've been invited, they will get reminders. It's not you having to manually remind them, but they will get reminders. However, you can't invite them again, which in my opinion is good, because otherwise I think you'd have people inviting you to like their page every single day for the rest of their lives, and then you're going to lose a lot of friends. But like I said, those reminders go out automatically, so it's not a big deal. But even if you've had your page for a while, in our industries, I feel like we're making new connections all the time. I get friend requests from real estate agents, mortgage professionals, insurance professionals. So you do gain a lot more Facebook friends over the course of like 6 months to a year. So if you've had your page for a while, pop back in here, see who hasn't been invited. Chances are it's all your new friends. Select them and invite them to like your page. So I do recommend doing that at least, once or twice a year to make sure you're sending those invites to your new Facebook friends as well. And then you don't have to worry about all the people who've already been invited, getting annoyed that you're sending that invite to them because it's just the people that haven't gotten that invite yet. If you're newer and you haven't either built your page yet or you maybe haven't spent a lot of time on it, what I recommend before inviting everybody to like your page, make sure you go to that about section and edit your page info. Make sure everything is set up the way that you want it. Make sure you have a couple posts on here because otherwise they'll get this invite, they're going to go to a blank page and say, what the heck is this? So if you need ideas for that, let me know, but just make sure that there's a little substance to your page before inviting everybody to like it. So that's sharing content, inviting people to like your page. So now what I want to talk about is probably what I get the most questions on, and it's content. You guys, content is hard, captions are hard. So basically what I want to do now is let you know some resources that I have found very helpful, and also discuss different content ideas. Obviously, this is not like a final list, like there's so much out there that you can work with. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was sharing from other pages. So if you have vendor partners like Tanya, via Tanya's page, we have on there, like kind of the fluffy testimonials, but also industry information, industry updates. So whether it's Tanya, whether it's an insurance connection, whether it's a title connection, going to their pages and sharing their content is always super, super like easy way to just build out your page while not even having to write a caption, not having to search for content. So that happens pretty similarly to how you would do sharing a post to your own page. All you would do instead is have it set as your page and then share to a page. So instead of sharing to your timeline, you're sharing it to your business page, building out your business page content. So that's an option. Articles are another option. So I'm about to list off some that I use pretty frequently. If you're on the call and want me to send these to you, just shoot me an email. If you are watching this later and you either can't remember or just want me to send these to you, let me know. But some of my personal favorites are the New American Funding blog. Obviously, since we are from New American Funding, I am slightly biased. However, I'm even going to show you. So the reason I like going here is because there's so much good mortgage information. And especially since you as realtors are not expected to be mortgage professionals, getting mortgage information from a reputable source is very important. You don't want to be spouting off mortgage information just willy-nilly. So there's lots of good articles in here. So like the difference between a pre-approval versus a pre-qualification. What is a government insured mortgage? This kind of content, if you do want some extra like branching just outside of real estate into maybe the mortgage area. Another great website for that is Housing Wire. You can sign up for a free account and then you have access to all of their free articles. We see a lot of really great content for mortgage, real estate, pretty much all those related industries. When it comes to maybe some fluffier content or more design focused, I like Good Housekeeping, Real Simple, House spelled HOUZZ, HGTV, lighter side of real estate. You can find a lot of good articles on those sites. So those are some of my favorite if you're looking for more like article type content. When it comes to graphics, a few different options as well. So the easiest option, our marketing department, and thanks to Tanya, every other week we have new co-branded graphics available for everybody in the office. So we always post about them in the Facebook group, but also if you weren't aware or if you don't read our emails, maybe you should start. Every Friday, our team sends a mortgage and marketing update every single Friday. This email includes mortgage information as well as insights that you can share. It includes upcoming holidays that you can post about. It includes article ideas. It includes our newest co-branded graphics, tons and tons of content ideas in those emails that you can then either just straight up use or request from us if you want co-branded graphics. So we have brand new ones that come out every other week. We also have a whole backlog of content, like a lot. So we have video content, we have market update videos, we have like 25 perks of being a homeowner, like fluffy stuff, or informational videos. And videos obviously huge. So if you want any of that, let us know. Just shoot Tanya an email, CC me. And then we also have a backlog of flyers. So if you want any print marketing, and we can also do custom. So to give you an example, I was talking to an agent last week and he was like, I would love my questions, or my clients always have questions on like terminology, like what does earnest money mean? So he's like, do you think you would be able to make like a graphic series that talks about that? So I said, absolutely. So if you have a custom idea and you just don't have the time, or maybe design is not your favorite thing, but you know, like this is going to be relevant content for my database, let us know. We are more than happy to do that custom content as long as it's co-branded. So keep that in mind. The next thing is if you want to do your own graphics, or you want to create your own flyers, or you want to create a cover photo, Command Designs as well as Canva are such great resources for you. They have so many templates in there. I do recommend checking out both. They just have different content, I guess. Obviously, Command Designs, a lot of real estate related content, a lot of more Tellery branding, really good stock photos. And then Canva, I would say, is better for if you want something maybe not necessarily real estate related, or you just want to see some more template ideas. Absolutely check out both of those resources. Or if you want help understanding how to navigate those, let me know. We can set up an appointment about that. But some ideas you could use for graphics. So I'm going to list off some more stuff. Listings and open houses. So you can use Command Designs, you can use Canva, but you can also use list reports. So list reports is a tool that Tanya pays for. The office has access to for free. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please shoot me an email and I'll send you an invite to pair. But list reports is great for listing marketing. You can get single property sites, you can get open house marketing, you can get infographics about a listing. And it doesn't even have to be your own. So we do open house flyers for a lot of people every single week for an open house that they're holding, even if it's not their own listing. Just make sure you obviously have permission. So if that sounds like something you'd want, you just have to let us know by like late morning Friday. We can send you some marketing materials. But on the topic of list reports, they also have a daily shareable. So what that is every single weekday they come out with a new social media graphic and even a caption idea. So if writing captions is not your jam, absolutely take advantage of those list report shareables. There are a variety of topics. They'll actually show you, this is actually one. So this one, we get a different set because we're mortgage related, but they have really, really great content in there. So if you haven't checked that out yet, or you need an invite, just let us know. The nice thing about being paired as well is and if you haven't read this, don't stop skipping the email if you aren't reading it. But every single day, List Report sends you an email. Does that sound annoying? Yes. But in it are new articles that are super relevant to the industry, updates to the system, as well as that daily shareable. So there you go. Another full email full of content. So absolutely take advantage of that. A couple other ideas. So post close, doing a thank you to your clients, or if you got a client closing photo, posting that. Just to note, if you ever have other people in a photo, making sure you have permission. Testimonials. So you saw up here, we do testimonials. Testimonial graphics are great. People like to see you do well. Holidays. So Canva is super great for holidays, especially even like I call them goofy holidays. So like National Pizza Day, or last week, Wednesday was National Dessert Day. So that weekly email that comes from Tanya includes like a weird holiday for every day of the week, included, as well as like the mainstream holidays like Halloween, Christmas, etc. So those are really fun to do. Market updates are great. So we have a couple co-brandable market update graphics that you can do. All you have to do is send me a couple stats, and I can do those for you. But market updates people love, especially nowadays where things are kind of a little confusing, I think, for a lot of people of like, what the heck is going on? Is it good? Is it bad? So being able to share that. Definitions, kind of what I was talking about before. Fun facts or like frequently asked questions. So, I feel like a common misconception in the mortgage world, still, which is shocking to me, is that people still think they have to have 20% for a down payment. Are there benefits to it? Sure. But it's not a requirement. I didn't put down 20% for my down payment. So I think that's something, that we'll bring up every so often of like, did you know? So those common, questions or misconceptions I think are great to talk about. Um, Inspirational quotes. So like doing, maybe we do a motivational Monday. So I mean, the internet is chock full of like so many different ideas. And then you can, create a simple, pretty template for it, use the same one every week, change it up. And then things like events. So if you're hosting an event, maybe like you're doing a virtual home buyer seminar, or you have an office event coming up, or you're doing, like a movie night, I don't know what it is. Creating a graphic for that, posting about that to your business page. So, like I said, that's just a small list of ideas. There's so much out there. Even just doing a quick like Google search for um, good real estate content or best real estate Facebook page ideas, things like that. You're going to find so many different ideas. Obviously, never plagiarize, but it is good to get inspiration and see what works from other people, as well as just, like I said, just a simple Google search. So I talk fast. So if you have any questions on that, whether you're on the call or later, don't hesitate to reach out to me. This is being recorded. Um, so it's you'll be able to revert back to it as many times as you need to. But hopefully that was helpful. And hopefully getting used to this new Facebook page layout isn't too stressful for you, but lots of benefits of having that Facebook business page. And yeah, so with that being said, for those of you on the call, do you guys have any questions? Alrighty, well, I am going to let you all go. I'm easy to access, or if you need my contact info, reach out to Tanya. I'm here to help. So with that being said, everybody have a great day.
Thanks so much, Mary.
Yeah, bye.